Alright, you guys, what's up everybody? Joe Dobby here, back at it again with another kind of like deck profile for you today. And because this is a BT8 deck profile, I once again have gameplay for you guys. And as requested, and obviously you already know I gotta play this deck and start building with it, MaloMyotismon for BT8 has been super fun to play. It's got its challenges in the meta, but all in all, I think there is a spot for it. Well, if it's well piloted, I think it could be a very good dark horse in the meta, surprising everyone and catching people off guard. It's really hard to play around it once you have really secured the bag of the board state. But guys, this is kind of like an early release video because I fumbled the bag in terms of streaming on Twitch tonight, link in the description below. So as a sorry to the community that really wanted me to do some live testing with you guys, here's my Malo video. But that said, we're gonna go into the deck profile before after the gameplay. And yeah, so basically we're just gonna get it started here. We're resolving kind of like the start of the game stuff, like adding recovery and some banter and all that. I open with not the best hand, honestly, I'll be very honest. But the missed memory boost allows me to trash the top 2 cards of my deck and draw after that. It sucks that I trashed the scatter mode because that would have been something really good to see more pieces with, but that's totally fine. We tried to just navigate and find our way around it. So he's going to go ahead and go into the Ryudamon here, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we're just chilling. And yeah, he's doing a big thinkum. This is my teammate Luke, aka Lucille, from Team Neverspark as well. Very methodical guy, very patient guy. I like to go vroom, vroom, vroom. He likes to go so we kind of hang out and just wait a bit. But he goes into his level 4 there, X-Antibody. I think this one provides either decoy or blocker, if I'm not mistaken. I think it gives blocker. But yeah, so he's at 1 memory. What's he gonna do here? I think he's gonna drop the memory tamer, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So he does drop the memory tamer in an effort to search for his pieces. And he gets Doru Gray and 3 tamers. 2 UGs heading to the bottom of the deck is pretty rough there, I have to say. But he has the Doru Gray, so he's guaranteed a level 5 here and could go to that level 6 Digimon, and it protects his stack. So even if I went into my own level 5 and somehow managed the memory to use Pandemonium Flare, it's not going to work. So understanding this, I try to just go full ham here, playing the Yukio and then setting up my Myotismon in case he tries to delete it. This is a gamble because I don't have any MaloMyotismon in trash. Okay. However, MaloMyotismon, when Digivolved, you can trash the top 2 cards of your deck, and I do end up trashing a Malo. Unfortunate though that I did not trash the Yukio that I just drew into from Evo, because that would have been played as a result of the Digivolution effect as well from that Myotismon, the new BT8 Myotismon. So yeah, as expected, you know, X-Antibody is going to do X-Antibody things, build a big stack and go vroom, see if you can survive, etc. So he's just going to go ahead and go into that Doru Gray, and I think there's no other option here but to, in fact, go into the Alphamon. But Doru Gray's resolution, well, its effect will resolve, and then he'll add the Oryumon. Oryumon is actually broken in itself. Personally, I would have probably gone into Oryumon here and then set up Alphamon in the back, but he did set that up so he could unsuspend his Alpha next turn, because this Alpha will have Sec +1 blocker, decoy, and whatnot. So he'll be swinging for 4 checks potentially as a result of the Oryumon. So that makes total sense. I'm going to go into the Gazi here, keep drawing into some decent pieces, but just not enough. I'm actually not sure what I do here. I think I just hard drop the other Yukio, but I'm going to go ahead for and swing at security. Do I survive this? I don't, actually. That's a Hisaryumon if I'm not mistaken. So I do go to 4, and then I resolve Demimare to draw 1, trash 1. The trash Pandemonium, hindsight, should I have trashed the Yukio? Maybe, yes, but with Yukio in my hand and not really a level 4, well, I do have the stack. Ooh, maybe I should have trashed the Yukio, but that's okay. We go into the Soul here, going to 2, and I believe I dropped the Yukio myself after, well, later on, because clearly I didn't do that. Devimon, this BT8 one is pretty cool because you get to grab a tamer, add it to your hand, trash a Digimon, and bottom deck everything else after you have revealed the top 3 cards of your deck. So that filled my Malo pile. If I did have a tamer, then I would have 100% been able to pick it up, which is really good. I run analog and Yukio's in here, so that's pretty good. Just gotta be careful here, because with the Sunoriza in the back, this is looking very dangerous. He could easily wipe out my security, so I'm a little worried about that. And it is his turn right now, so I think he's just figuring out whether he should swing. I think he's just figuring out whatever DP he should swing at. I think that's what he's doing right now. So yeah, my hand is not optimal in the slightest. This was actually a very struggle start for me, to be honest. The scatter mode, having to force Evo into that was really big, because I had the Yukio out already, so I did a gamble, and it did pay off a little bit, allowing me to trash a Malo, but there's just not enough Malo there to trigger the new BT8 Malo from trash. Its effect needs 5 myotismon names in trash for it to actually do what it needs to do. So I don't have that yet for sure. Now we've got the Dorugoramon here going to 1 memory, and now I think this is when he starts to swing. He's got security attack +1, and the Oryumon, because it is an alpha, will allow him to unsuspend. So this is kind of like a big thinkums moment for Lucille, because he doesn't know if he should pay memory or not. He's definitely going to gain the 2 memory back, putting himself to 1, but I guess he decides to not pay the memory at all, and luckily he gets away with it, and then he gets to unsuspend the Oryumon. He did add 2 Myotis in my trash, which is very big, and if he does this more times where I can actually play the other Malo, that's gonna be disgusting. Oh, and because he didn't gain that DP boost, he ended up dying in security to the 12k Myotismon, the MaloMyotismon. So he explained his reasoning here. What he was actually gonna do was try and gain memory to go to 5 and then hard play a Dorugoramon, putting me to 1, which would have been an absolutely insane play. However, this is a MaloMyotismon deck. All your top ends are 12k, and hitting one of them could be absolutely devastating. So I think it's super important to just respect that and just pay the 2 memory and get up to 13. But instead, he's going to drop the UG here just to set up his Mega, I guess. And then I guess he just trashes Breath of the Gods. I don't actually remember him doing that. But yeah, so I'm thinking on what Malo to play here. Clearly, I can't play... Oh, I do have enough. Yeah, so I did have 6, so I ended up trashing the top of security. I would have also deleted an unsuspended Digimon, but obviously there wasn't one. So we go into this Myotismon. Because of that Soulmon, I actually get to gain a memory from trashing the top 2 cards of my deck, which is awesome because I just get that Yukio out for free and maintain my turn. Absolutely huge advantage. So Hisaryumon, obviously I die there, and I think I just go in that way. Yep, go in successfully. The Yukio does not actually kill me, and I'm really staring that Deathclaw down. I'm like, should I just have a Malo, surprise Malo, or should I just set up my analog, I think is what I was thinking here. But what I do instead is I believe I drop the analog, and the reason why is because if for whatever reason he drops a blocker and manages to kill one of my Digimon, particularly the Myotismon, I could potentially end his turn there with Analog Youth and Yukio, gaining me 2 memory as a combination. So the Yuji actually gains a memory, which is super strong. And if he's got another X-Antibody out, then the Dorogora becomes a blocker, which is pretty darn good. And then at this point, I basically have game either way, as long as he doesn't delete one of my Digimon, and as long as he doesn't like get into like multiple blockers. If he's got like somehow manages to draw, I don't know if he plays like 3 Mechanori or whatever, then maybe we'll have an issue. But apart from that, we're actually pretty fine. So yeah, we're basically almost towards the end of the video here, and effectively he's really thinking on what to do, but I think he just drops the Ryudomon, searches, and then goes into another Dorogora in order to quite simply just try and defend himself here. But obviously once I delete one of the Dorogoras, the other one's not a blocker anymore and I can just swing for game. Also, I've got like a lot of removal in my hands, so I could definitely kill either of those level 4s and just swing for game either way. So yeah, I'm just gonna skip to the end here because it's pretty much obvious what's gonna happen. I've got everything I need to succeed, and yeah, that said, you know, I just have the 2 swing outs here, and I could even drop the Deathclaw for game, and yeah, we resolve that accordingly, and that's basically it, because I even reveal the Deathclaw to ensure that, you know, my opponent knows, and yeah, that's basically game. So we're gonna dive into the deck profile now, guys. Voila. I love this deck. I've been having tons of fun with it, so we're just gonna dive right into it super quickly. 4 copies of Demimera on deletion, draw 1, trash 1. Josh, why aren't you running the new Demimeramon? Simple. I'm not trashing the top card of my deck as often as I am getting deleted. So the scatter mode allows me to get deleted, reveal, or at least open up my hand a bit more, get to my options and all that, and I think the Demimera does come a little bit more clutch. Pagumon, on deletion, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. More potential trashing to build your MaloMyotismon and Myotismon win condition. 4 copies of Gabu, because it's absolutely broken with Scattered, draw 2, trash 1 on deletion. 3 copies of Gazimon, just to maintain that memory control. There's gonna be a lot of funny business with random cheeky memory gains, particularly now that Imperialdramon is a thing, so you gotta be careful for that. 3 copies of Demidevimon, which is the new BT8 one. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add a Tamer to your hand, not color restricted, and then trash 1 purple Digimon card, so like a Dandevi, or you can even trash something like, I don't know, Myotismons, and then place the rest of the bottom of the deck, which is super cool. 2 copies of the promo Demi. I didn't really know what to add into this slot, but the trash 2 has been really good for me. I'm debating whether Labramon would actually show me any value, but for now, Demidevi's pretty cool. 3 copies of Scatter Mode, as I've said, and as you've seen in the gameplay, the Scatter Modes did come clutch to unbrick me eventually and get me to my pieces, allowing me to win the game. 1 copy of the Eismon, because it's never bad. You will never not want to see this, because I mean, it's a 2 cost to Evo level 4, so it'll just be a regular level 4 otherwise. But with scatter modes, you can easily play this out for free, and I've done so numerous times going into Myotismon or Mummymon in order to progress my board state. 4 copies of this Soulmon. This is such a strong card in this current purple style that has been kind of unlocked for us in this set. The trashing the top of your deck Soulmon does come absolutely clutch because you gain that memory when you do so. Very strong and heritable, works well with the Myotismon in BT8 as well. 3 copies of the blocker Devimon. I didn't really know what to throw in here, honestly, and I figured this is way better than Meramon, and all I could think about was just having a 1 cost to Evo. That way I can go for as many plays as I can for the turn, and potentially choke my opponents to 1 memory if need be. I'm testing 2 copies of Mummymon right now. This used to be 2 copies of the EX1 Myotismon, and the reason why is because the EX1 Myotismon with the new Malo could potentially only be a 2 to Evo Malo, because you're reducing Malo's Evos by 1 off the EX1 Myotis, and then you are also gaining a memory if there is a Myotismon in your trash. And the new Malo actually has a really cool effect that we'll dive in soon. But I'm just trying the Mummymon, because if you can play Mummymon for effectively if you can play MaloMyotismon, either of them from trash, for effectively 2 memory or 1 or 3 memory, because you're actually gaining one back if you play the BT2 Malo or BT3, then it's pretty good overall. 4 copies of this Myotismon. This is the BT8 one. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh enabler. You can basically play Yu-Gi-Oh from trash for free, or on deletion, you can play Yu-Gi-Oh from trash or hand suspended, which is really, really good. The on-hand part is very important here, and I think that's really good. Next, we've got 3 copies of Myotismon here, which is really cool. I like Myotismon, and I'm running this promo with retail simply because of bigger bodies that might want to swing over my Malos if I haven't had game yet. But I'm realizing more and more that this is kind of like only really good in green. Other than that, like, it's not good anywhere else. And green doesn't even want to swing over you as much anymore because of Shivamon just trashing your stuff. So probably gonna cut this for the EX1 Malos, or Myotismon, sorry. 3 copies of this BT3, apologies, MaloMyotismon. It's got piercing, which is really good, and all turns when another Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory for each Digimon deleted. What's nice about this and Yu-Gi-Oh is when your opponent swings into your security and for whatever reason they survive, and you have a suspended Yu-Gi-Oh out, the Malo can come out of nowhere. If you don't have 5 Malos or Myotismon names in trash, you don't need to play the new one. You can just play this one and swing over a Digimon and get piercing, which I think is really good. Next, we're running 4 copies of this new Malo on play. If there's 5 or more cards with Myotismon and their names in your trash, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. In addition to that, you can trash the top card of their security stack. So there are literally plays where I can bring out 2, 3 Malos at the same time and trash the top 3 cards of their security. If they have 3 cards trashed from their security, they're likely gonna have 2 left, and I've got 3 Malos looking like staring you down next turn to swing all 3 for the remaining 2 and for lethal, so that's really good. When Digivolving, it just enables its on play, which is you can trash the top 5 cards of your deck, and it's actually only a 3 cost if you trashed a Myotismon name as a result of that, or just if you have one in trash. Actually, it doesn't even have to be trashed as a result of the effect. Next, running 3 copies of Pandemonium Flame, testing out this ratio of 3 copies of Pandemonium. I do like that it is a trump sword in security, which is super powerful, especially in Imperial Dramon meta, where Imperial just wants to unsuspend and swing. So guys, don't let an Imperial Dramon try to get ahead of you. Don't let one of those players try to get ahead of you. When attacking, if they unsuspend before you flip that security. Let them do it in front of you. And then Pandemonium will hit and you pop it. End of story. 1 copy of Mist Memory Boost, trash the top 2 cards of your deck and then draw 1, then place this card in your battle area. It is a good memory boost because it fills your Myotismon trash, and it also allows you to gain 2 memory and draw 1. So 3 different ways to kind of help purple do its thing. 2 copies of Deathclaw for the scatter mode enabler. In addition to that, I can pop Digimon and gain memory back with the BT3 Malo, so I can definitely just gain so much momentum and more memory off that. 4 copies of Yu-Gi-Oh! All turns when one of your Myotismon is deleted, suspend this tamer to gain a memory. End of your opponent's turn, which is an interesting thing. It's unique to this card. If this tamer is suspended, you may delete this tamer to play 1 MaloMyotismon from your trash without its memory cost. That is why the MaloMyotismon, when they come out of trash, they actually get to swing on your turn because they show up at the end of your opponent's turn. And the beauty about this is, you know, you get to trash their sec and then swing for game. It's literally the only way this deck is actually good. The fact that it starts at the end of your opponent's turn, which is pretty good. Next, we're running 2 copies of Analog Youth, obviously just to fill trash, but to also get the right pieces you need. You ideally want to go into this Myotismon first and foremost to bring out your Yu-Gi-Ohs, and then you kind of plan out the rest of the game by just spamming out Yu-Gi-Ohs. But yeah, the Analog Youth, super important. In addition to that, it's an extra memory when you delete one of your Myotismons with sources. So, and you get to hatch. So if you really need lethal, you can get that egg lethal for next turn and just secure the bag, because I know not a lot of decks are playing blockers right now, so very good. But yeah, that is the deck profile, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the information that I have shown you today. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to give me a like in the comments and comment. And please feel free to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.